So let me make a quick disclaimer about this cook with me video because I'm flaring, and for me this is a light flare day. It's about a 7 out of 10 on the pain scale, and so I did a lot of prep work in order to be able to cook today. So I have been lying down most of the day, and I slept a lot today. I didn't run any of my errands, didn't do a lot of things so that I could cook today because I wanted to cook dinner today. Also had to cook a lot of things before the food went bad. My husband also helped a lot so that I could cook today. A lot of people, they can't do that just because sometimes when you are flaring, you are just laid out. But for me, this was not one of the flares where I was laid out. But a lot of times you do have to prepare for flare. So I knew that I was going to be flaring. So I've actually been preparing for this flare for the last several days. So I've been taking some of my natural medications and doing some other things so that I could cook because I knew that I wanted to. But it's just kind of having to prepare in advance for flares, and knowing that I will be recovering kind of through the week, just kind of dealing with these ebbs and flows of having IH. All right, cook with me while I am flaring. Today I'm making an easy dinner meal. I'm just gonna make smothered chicken, mashed potatoes out the pack, and green beans. So I'm flaring. I've been flaring for a couple days now, and so I'm going to show you how I cook when I'm in a flare. So I don't necessarily have to cook. I'm choosing to cook, but here's how I adapt to cook while I'm flaring. So the first step for me is getting everything prepared in advance so that I can make things as easy as possible. So like I make sure that my surfaces are ready because like my memory is really bad. So like I got all of my seasonings for my chicken ready. I got my chicken prepared. But before I did any of that, my husband got the kitchen ready. Like he made sure that my sink was cleaned out so that I could get the chicken ready. He made sure that the stovetop was ready so that I could get my pans and everything so that when I was ready to cook, I could have all of the pans out that I needed for the meal. See, and that's what I mean about the memory issue. So I'm very forgetful when I'm flaring. I mean, I'm very forgetful all the time, so I have a tendency to forget what I'm doing while I'm cooking, unfortunately. So I like to do things in a step-by-step manner, and when I'm working with meat, I try to work with the raw things because I have a thing about like throwing up and everything and food poisoning. Food poisoning scares the hell out of me. So I try to always make sure that I work with my raw ingredients first and get everything sanitized and done. Or I work with vegetables first and then raw ingredients. But I want to make sure that I have everything done so that way I don't forget and cross-contaminate. So right now I'm going to season my chicken first. That way I can have all of this stuff seasoning and like marinating a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and cut my vegetables up. So I'm just doing like a basic poultry seasoning for this. Ain't nothing special. Just eyeballing some shit, making sure you can smell it because I'm not using a lot of sodium. I'm using this Jamaican all-purpose seasoning. I used that had sodium in it. Everything else did not have sodium. And usually when I'm seasoning, I put the seasonings, like, so if you watch me do this, I put everything back on the left side. Sometimes I'll put everything on the right side after I've done it so that I remember that I've already seasoned it, just so that I don't forget or double season, even though I don't have a problem with double seasoning because I'm not using sodium. So the more seasoning, the better. And so sometimes for me when I'm in a flare, honestly standing is a bit much because of the vertigo, because I can get a little dizzy. So I will just sit and chop my vegetables and everything. I don't know why I'm in a flare. I honestly think it just the activity from this weekend. But these things happen, and it happens quite frequently when you've had IIH, and that is just something that unfortunately we have to contend with. It is what it is. I don't know. I like cooking. Cooking gives me something to focus on other than being sick. So I have been planning out this meal all day. I have been laid on the couch for most of the day. I had other stuff that I was planning on doing. But hey, it is what it is. When you flare with IH, unfortunately, sometimes your day gets derailed. We are also on a very strict budget right now, probably like a lot of other people. So I'm trying to use up everything that we have in our pantry. So I will be probably getting most of the sodium in this meal from the prepared mashed potatoes. Fun fact, I did not like mashed potatoes until becoming gluten intolerant. I use the ones out of the pack. I usually buy the ones that are low sodium, but the grocery store didn't have them, so I'm using the regular ones. I probably won't eat too much of those. My husband will probably eat most of those. And yeah, because I can't do the sodium in those ones. Okay, so now I'm just gonna sear off the chicken. I used boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Honestly, it's just because it's what was defrosted. Normally, I would use bone in, but it's what was on sale, and it's what I had that was defrosted. And so while one side is down, I'm gonna go ahead and bleach out my sink. And while all of this has been happening, my oven has been preheating. Because I'm just gonna sear this, saute the peppers and onions, and I got a little bit of garlic. I'm gonna saute those off, throw all this in the oven, and then while it's in the oven, I'm gonna sit my ass down. And then towards the end of cooking, I'm gonna make the mashed potatoes, make some green beans, and then I'll be done and ready to eat. And all of this is done quickly. Okay, so I'm taking the chicken out. And now that the chicken is out, it's just brown. I want to get the peppers and onions in, saute those a bit, because it's just a personal preference. And then I'll put the chicken back on top with a little bit of chicken stock. I hope I have some, because that's the other thing I forgot to take out, because my memory's bad. Saute these a little bit, put the chicken back on top, throw it in the oven, and sit down. I'll probably put on, I have King of the Hill on pause, finish this episode, and that's how I'll know when this food is done. Oh, the other thing I forgot. Add some chicken stock, and then when the food is done, I'm going to add some cornstarch slurry and a little bit of flour to make gravy. Okay, so the chicken is in the oven, and then I'm just going to get the sides prepared. I'm not going to start them. I'm going to start them in a little bit. I just want to get everything set. So I get these green beans from Trader Joe's. Just want to get them into, because they're frozen, so it doesn't matter if you, okay, not that many. I just like to make sure that I have everything kind of set up. That way when I am ready for them, I can just be good to go. Because these green beans don't take that long, and mashed potatoes do not take that long. I make my mashed potatoes with milk instead of water, so I already have my 2 cups of milk on the stove. That way I can just get the milk boiling and just stir them in. And so for my green beans, I'm going to do just a little bit of olive oil. And as far as seasonings, garlic powder, a little more garlic powder. I normally would do some fresh garlic, but I honestly don't feel like, I just used the last 2 cloves that I had. I don't feel like cutting up a new one. Pepper, and a little bit of lemon pepper, maybe. So instead of the lemon pepper that I make, I will use a little bit of this lemon pepper because there is a little bit of salt in this. So because I can't control the other shaker side, and this one does have too much sodium in it, I always shake it out into my hand and then sprinkle it on top and then throw the rest out. So I just took the chicken out and I just made a little cornstarch slurry to thicken up this gravy. Okay. All dinner done in like 20 minutes.